Joni Lamb, a well-known figure in Christian programming and one of the founders of the Dare TV network, has touched the lives of millions of people with her faith-based work and personal story. Her childhood had a big impact on who she became, building the basis for her strong faith and dedication to spreading the gospel. She was born on July 19, 1960 in Seville, Texas. Joni's childhood was full of both happy and difficult times, each of which helped her become who she is today. As a strong woman of faith who grew up in a Christian home, Joni was introduced to faith at a young age. Her parents were very religious, so prayer, reading the Bible, and going to church were important parts of their daily lives. This strong spiritual upbringing sowed the seeds of her faith and gave her a sense of stability and purpose. Joni often talks about how her parents' unwavering devotion to God made an indelible mark on her and her brothers, teaching them the values of service and humility. As a child, Joni was naturally compassionate, smart, and curious. She would often go out of her way to help friends and neighbors in need. Her mother, who was a strong role model, encouraged her compassionate nature and often reminded her of the importance of kindness and generosity. This trait would later become a defining characteristic of her personality and ministry. However, Joni's childhood wasn't easy. She grew up in a modest family. She learned early on how important it was to work hard and not give up. Her parents worked hard to provide for the family, and Joni was used to having a lot of responsibilities at home. These experiences gave her the resilience and adaptability that would help her a lot as she built a global television ministry. Joni's first experiences with media and communication happened when she was young. She was naturally good at public speaking and sharing stories, which she did a lot. She was able to communicate clearly and connect with others, which amazed her classmates and teachers. These early signs of her communication skills pointed to her future as a dynamic TV host and leader in the Christian community. Another important part of Joni's childhood was her involvement in church activities. Whether she was singing in the choir, going to youth group events, or taking part in Sunday school, Joni was highly involved in her faith community. These activities not only strengthened her spiritual foundation, but also she often took on roles that needed her to plan events because they gave her chances to learn how to be a leader. She has helped younger kids and spoken in front of large groups of people, which has made her even better at inspiring and leading. Joni also had some personal problems as a child that shaped her faith and how much she relied on God. She has been open about the trials she went through, including times of fear and doubt, and how they helped her grow a deeper relationship with God. Having a relationship with God, these events made her more sure that prayer works and that following God's plan is important. Even though things were hard, Joni's early years were shaped by her schooling. She did very well in school and was known for being determined and disciplined. Her parents stressed how important education was and encouraged her to follow her dreams and interests. Joni was always asking questions to try to understand the world around her. This showed how curious she was and how much she loved learning. Joni started to feel a calling to dedicate her life to ministry as she entered her teenage years. She sought answers through study and prayer, and her family and faith community supported her in this decision, seeing her as someone who could make a difference. Early memories of seeing how faith changed her own life and the lives of others made her more determined to share the gospel with more people. When you look back at Joni Lamb's childhood, it's clear that her early experiences helped her become the important person she is today. Her strong spiritual foundation, caring nature, and resilience were built up during these formative years, getting her ready for the challenges and successes of her adult life. Her journey from a faith-filled child to a global leader in Christian broadcasting shows how important it is to encourage faith, perseverance, and a desire to serve from a young age. This is one of the most moving parts of her story. That was her fight with pneumonia, which put her in the hospital, which was a scary experience. This health scare not only tested her physical strength, but it also strengthened her faith, family, and community. Jan's illness came on quickly and out of the blue. She was a very active and energetic person who was known for keeping a busy schedule with family obligations, ministry work, and TV shows. But a persistent cough and tiredness started to get to her, which she first thought was due to too much work. As the symptoms got worse, like trouble breathing and a high fever, it became clear that this wasn't a minor illness. Getting expert help confirmed the diagnosis. Joni had pneumonia, an illness of the lungs that can be very dangerous and even kill you. Her condition quickly got worse, so she had to go to the hospital. People who knew her and had spent their whole lives with her were deeply worried and prayed for her when they heard she had been admitted to the hospital. Helping others get through tough times now, it was Joni who needed the strength and support of those around her. Her time in the hospital made many people who respected her think about how even the strongest people can be hurt by life's problems. Joni had to deal with a lot of problems while she was in the hospital. The pneumonia made it very hard for her to breathe, so she had to get a lot of care, like oxygen therapy and strong antibiotics. The pain in the body was unbearable, but the mental and a spiritual fight that really put her to the test later. Joni talked about how, during the quiet moments of her hospital stay, she felt both fear and deep clarity. The uncertainty of her condition made her face how weak she was, but it also made her faith stronger. She relied on prayer and trusted that God had a plan for her life no matter what happened. Her family was very important to her during this hard time. Mark Lamb, her late husband, had always been her life and ministry partner, and she missed him a lot. They felt like their children and close friends were there for her, comforting and supporting her. Joni often said that her family was her greatest blessing, and their unwavering support during her illness showed how close they were. They became her advocates, making sure she got the best care possible and cheering her up with love and positivity. The Christian community also came together in an amazing show of support. Prayer chains were set up with people from all over the world. The world was praying for Joan's healing. Messages of hope and encouragement poured into social media from countless people who shared how Jan's ministry had touched their lives. This outpouring of support reminded her of how far-reaching her work was and how deeply she had connected with her audience as her treatment went on. It looked like Joni was getting better. It wasn't easy to get better because pneumonia can leave long effects on the body. Being weak and tired all the time made things harder. Joni helped her get better with the same drive and faith that had guided her life. She often talked about how important it is to trust God in all situations, stressing that even when he is weak, his power is made perfect. John's experience with pneumonia changed her forever. It made her even more determined to spread the message of hope and faith by using her platform to support people who are going through health problems. Her openness in talking about her journey struck a chord with her listeners. They saw in her a reflection of their own weaknesses and strengths. Joni told everyone that being sick and going through hard times are not signs of weakness, but chances to get closer to God and depend on his kindness during her ordeal. When life gets rough, Joni Lamb showed that faith can be a strong base. Her fight with pneumonia was one of pain and uncertainty, but it was also a story of strength, community, and the power of prayer to change things. Today, as she continues her work in ministry, Fresh Cause Joan's story is an inspiration because it shows us that belief in the love of others can bring us hope and healing even in our darkest hours. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you liked the video, please like and comment below. Tell me what you think, and I'll see you in the next movie.